Do you love the Tabernacle Choir? This year, the choir's music is everywhere you are. Listen to your favorite choir songs and music and the spoken word anytime you want on Alexa by simply enabling the skill.
Alexa, play music in the spoken word.
Now playing music in the spoken word.
You can also download the Tabernacle Choir app, subscribe to the choir on YouTube, listen on Spotify, and have access to all their wonderful music. Happy listening.
It's Cougar Sports Saturday.
Bear inside the 5. Bear into the end zone. It's a touchdown.
Cougar Sports Saturday, a presentation of KSL Sports.
Rob Wright the third. Just won it for BYU.
BYU Sports Talk by Cougar fans for Cougar fans. Here are your hosts, Mitch Harper and Nate Slack, on your legacy home of the Cougars. KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Welcome back into Cougar Sports Saturday, 2:35 KSL time down here in downtown Salt Lake City. It was a fun week this week, Mitch. Just kind of getting back in the football flow, having some conversations with players. And one of the guys that you caught up with was a returning starter for BYU, Andrew Gentry.
Well-spoken guy. And Gentry, is there a guy that kind of embodies a BYU student-athlete like Andrew Gentry? I mean, he's held church callings when he was at Michigan. Just a really good dude. He's been a national champion, so he has a high bar of what success looks like. And I started the conversation asking Andrew what was accomplished during summer conditioning as they get ready for the fall season.
Yeah, great question. I mean, I'd say, for us, one of the big objectives was just to hit the weight room, to become tougher, to become obviously stronger, faster. That's part of it. But I think a lot of it, too, was the mental aspect of the game, too, that our strength coaches did a really good job of pushing us to limits that we didn't really think that we could hit before. And so getting us ready for that way, building unity, too, was a big one. This is going to be – we have a lot of pieces on the offensive line that were there last year. But at the same time, it's going to be some new pieces as well. Right, of guys that are playing next to each other, obviously bringing Pocky in as well, and a couple new transfers with Zach and Junior as well. And so making sure that unity was there. And so I think that was accomplished, right? It was a really good, it was a tough summer. But that's what you love, right? When you can finish it up and know like you can look back that it was a good summer. We worked hard, we grinded, built that unity, and at the same time got a lot faster, a lot stronger. And so we're ready to roll for the upcoming season.
And I assume when you're going to be in spring ball, you were playing at right tackle. Is that going to be the case this fall, you would expect?
That's the plan. Yeah, I'll probably stay at right. Feel most comfortable there and have played there my whole career in college, so excited for that.
And then you brought up Pocky, left tackle. What do you think he's brought to the offensive line room? And I mean, he was a guard at Washington, but how do you think he's been performing at left tackle?
He's done a great job. I love Pocky. I'm so grateful that we got him in the portal. I really think we got a steal with him. And I think the biggest thing that Pocky brings to the table is, when you're a transfer, you have a different way that you've done things in the past. You got a lot of experience at different places. But Pocky just loves to work. He loves to grind, and he fits in great with our room, too. I mean, it really didn't feel like he was a transfer because he just built right in, fit right in with our system, fit right in with the players. And so for Pocky, I think we're just going to get a dude that's a mauler. He's a great player, great teammate. And so we're just excited to have him, and I'm grateful he's playing in line with us.
Well, Pocky's a new guy. There's so much familiarity. The new similar faces yourself, Bruce Mitchell, Sonny Moncassini, and we could go on this whole team with Bear and LJ and so forth. What's going to be different this year? I mean, I know that there's some new pieces, but what's going to be different to really break through for this team and reach your goals?
Yeah, I think, honestly, the different thing is going to be that cohesion and unity, right? Which is kind of crazy. It's kind of weird that you look at it that way. But at the same time, you look at last season, and there was a lot of new pieces, right? You have a new quarterback, a lot of new offensive linemen that hadn't played together in a while, new guys on defense. And so I think this year, one of the great things that we bring is, especially on the offensive side of the ball, a lot of guys that have played a lot of football together. And so that's the great thing about that is you don't have to worry about learning a new cadence. You don't have to worry about getting used to playing to the guy next to you because we've played together for a while now. Obviously, we'll have different pieces here and there. But that cohesion and that unity, on great teams I've been on, that's what really sets those teams apart. Doesn't necessarily mean it's the talent, but at the same time, when you can trust the guy next to you and you don't have to look at him to know what you're going to do and you can just anticipate his next move, that makes a huge difference. So I think this year that's going to be our biggest advantage, is guys that have a lot of experience at the college level playing with each other.
Yeah, it's a great point, because you think about even the new faces, Zach Yamauchi, Junior Sia, they played a lot of snaps in this offensive line. How do you, as a veteran, bring in those guys and maybe let them know of what the culture is, because that's such a big piece of this program. Like, what do you do to kind of bring them in and make sure that they're on board, they're going to only amplify the culture?
Yeah, and I think, honestly, you asked about what was accomplished during summer workouts, and that was that. Our coaches do a great job of establishing the culture that is BYU. Coach Phyllis, Coach Blackjack, all those strength staff, they do a really good job of establishing exactly what that culture at BYU is. And then it's up to us to hold that standard, right, as players. And so making sure they understand that this is the standard. And I think for those guys, it's a little bit of shock for me, too, when I transferred in, that BYU really does. Like, they pride themselves, we pride ourselves on being so disciplined and working harder and doing things the right way. And that's what that summer workouts were all about. Because winter workouts, you're kind of trying to feel things out. And so this summer, I think our goal was, let's hit the ground running. Let's bring these guys in. Let's see how they can handle these workouts. Let's push them to the point where they're exhausted and tired. And then from there, see how they can continue to finish and get better. And I think that was a really great thing for us for this summer, was building that unity, was building that leadership and building that culture.
When people think of BYU offenses historically, I think they look at passing attacks, and you guys can definitely pass the football, obviously, but it feels like the identity to its core maybe is running the football, and it's going to be a physical attack. Like, should we expect more of the same when you got the reigning Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year coming back in LJ?
Yeah, I think we're going to have an attack on both, and I think that's the great thing. That's what great offenses do, is that we can beat you either way. We've got an amazing quarterback in Bear Bachmeyer, and I've always said that I think the biggest jump for a quarterback at any school is from freshman to sophomore year. And so Bear, we see how well he did last year as a true freshman. I think he's going to make a huge jump this year, and he's going to surprise a lot of people with how good he is this year. And so we have that, but then we also have the best running back in the country in LJ Martin. And so I think that's the great thing about us this year as an offense, is that teams are going to have to pick which one they want to stop, because it's really hard to stop both. And so teams are going to play back and make us run the ball, then we are going to run the ball, and that's going to be our identity. But if they're going to play up and say, hey, you're not going to run the ball with LJ, and that's okay, because we'll throw the ball over your head. So I think that's the great thing, is we have a lot of options this year, and we really feel that we don't have to lean back on just one side. But I'm also a firm believer in, coming from a system in high school, also coming from the Big Ten, is that you need to have a great rushing attack in order to be a great offense. And I think you look at any great offense and the way that football is run today, and you can't just be one-dimensional throwing the ball, with how good edge rushers are now and the way that you can disguise defense and coverages. And so I think every offense needs to have a really great rushing attack, and we've got that. And I think that's going to be, at the end of the day, our bread and butter, what we lean on, is being physical, running downhill with LJ, and getting yards, 6-7 yards at a time.
How much have you enjoyed this BYU experience? You noted, high school there was a stop with the committed to Virginia, then the Big Ten. Just this journey in college football and how the BYU experience has been thus far for you.
Yeah, it's been amazing. I'm so grateful I ended up here, and it's been a journey, like you mentioned, of committing to Virginia, going to Michigan, and then ending up here. But I'm so grateful that it all has played out this way. So grateful to be a part of this team, especially at this time. It's so fun to look at where BYU's at right now. And even from when I was a kid and looking back at the Mountain West days and the independent days, when I grew up just being a fan of BYU, it's so cool now to see BYU in the Big 12 and competing for Big 12 championships, competing for national championships. And that's always been the dream, right, is to come and play for BYU and be a part of that. And so I'm so grateful for Coach Kalani, for Coach Woods, the whole staff of bringing me in, letting me be a part of this, because it's a dream come true to be a part of BYU in, in my opinion, one of the golden ages of BYU, kind of bringing back that golden age of BYU where we are a national contender every year. And so just so excited. I love being a part of it, and thrilled to see what this season brings.
I know that the team goals are going to be the top priority for you, but individually, where do you feel like you've made some improvements in this offseason, where you want to continue to evolve in your game to reach your goals in the sport of football?
Yeah, great question. Obviously, first and foremost, is I just want to do whatever I can to help our team win the Big 12. And so for me this year, I felt like some big changes I wanted to make was just my body composition in general, of leaning out and trying to make sure that I could stay heavy but losing a lot of fat. And so really worked on my diet, really worked in the weight room to try to lean out and put on a lot of muscle, lose a lot of fat, and feel like I did a good job of that. And then along with that too is working on my foot speed, my hand speed. I felt like last year I did a good job of that, but not a great job. I felt like there was room for improvement, specifically in pass protection protection, where I could have faster feet, faster hands, that I think will help propel me to help our team the best, but also for my personal goals of making it to the NFL and doing that and reaching that highest level of football is a goal for me, obviously. So I feel like if I can master those things, then I'll have a good chance of doing that for myself as well.
And that's BYU offensive lineman Andrew Gentry. I'm excited for Andrew. What do you think his potential is? Do you think he's an NFL guy, potentially?
I think so. And that's a good question. I wonder what BYU's success with offensive linemen being drafted the last few years has on Andrew Gentry. Does that have any impact, do you think?
I think it could. And I think what, also maybe could help him too is that BYU's track record of success, and he also was in Harbaugh's Michigan program, so he's kind of interesting. And he was also, I don't think we put enough stock into this, but NFL evaluators, the stats wouldn't lie. These 5 4-star recruits that are national prospects, they do typically end up being pros. And I think if they're on the radar as 4-star recruits early on, I think NFL evaluators just say, hey, this might be someone worth monitoring throughout their college career. So maybe there's more intel on those guys because they were such a national recruit right out of the gates that they've been following them a lot closer than, say, like a Zach Wilson we talked about before, where he kind of had a meteoric rise after one season. He was somewhat of a national recruit, but still kind of 3-star guy. I think Gentry's got a shot. I mean, in the fact that he noted he slimmed down a little bit, but he still maintained his weight, but he's trimmed down the body fat.
He's also 6'8".
He looks good.
6'8", 315.
And he's going to play that right tackle spot, and you have Paki Finau at the left tackle position for BYU this season. Let's take a break. Final time out of the program. We'll wrap up the show next here on Cougar Sports Saturday.